Now, at this point in these episodes, I'm at the end of like the fall semester. I've got all my stationery stuff. I'm kind of on a roll in terms of like getting things done. I'm still so far behind in Arabic. It's just like every week feels like I'm failing, and even though I'm not, but it's so difficult. And the early American history class, doing great, love it. University writing, awesome, dude. I took the one called contemporary essays, so you sort of, it's like a wide variety of things that you can pull from, and then you write about those things. Some of them are very like focused. There's like gender studies and like race and something, and then a couple others that were like environmental focus, and just there are a few different things, and all of those appeal to me, but I'm like, I want more variety because I'm going to be going forward writing about a variety of things. So I took that one and loving it. It's great. Doing the research and like, learning how to write in conversation and all that sort of stuff. So fun and really helpful. Like I'm getting A's on papers because of the university writing class. And, we get to finals and I am so nervous. I mean, test anxiety through the roof. I am crippled with fear and just sort of like everything is hinged on this. I'm like, I'm not going to pass, and even though I'm doing well in these classes, but I remember feeling like no matter how much I study, it's not gonna do anything. And what's great about Columbia, I'm sure other colleges, universities have this, is finals are not like technically at the end of the semester. It's like the semester ends and then there's a study week, which anywhere from 3 to 5 days, a whole week. And then the next week is finals week. And so you have like a little bit of time, which was really important for Arabic because I felt like I needed 6 years. So we get like a good week to study, and I basically went over the entire textbook from beginning to end, every single lesson, all the homework, everything. I've never studied so hard. And the history class, the university writing was like, we had to just turn in like the third big paper was like a big research project. That was sort of like the final. And then the fourth one, we wrote an op-ed. History went over absolutely everything from beginning to end, which, I mean, anyone who was a decent to good student is like, yeah, of course that's what you do. This is not surprising to me that I was really, really doing it, because again, my history as a student was, I was not a good one. I just effed off a lot when I was younger. And I think being an adult, having to work for myself, being my own boss, making myself accountable, doing like the thing I love, has really instilled this work ethic and this discipline that I still don't think I have enough of, but it's there, and there's no one above me saying do it. So I've always been like, I'm living my dream. I want to do this. So I didn't need a boss. Sometimes you feel like you do, but that voice would come out and be like, come on, get to work, do it. So I've been in that habit, and knowing that this is an incredible opportunity, being able to go to Columbia, I knew that I needed to bring all that into this, and my love for learning is there. I've never not had that. I had an anti-authority sort of like, I don't care about, learning the way you want me to learn kind of thing when I was younger, and that's gone. And I just took the two things that are there, work ethic and my love for learning, and just put those together. And I was like, I'm going to be the best possible student. So what kind of student am I today? Modern day Nick Youssef. I am in the front row of every single class, front and literally center. If the podium where the professor is in the center, that's where I am. I spent entire semesters in these lecture style classes. Arabic was small. It was like a round table. There's 12 students. But the bigger lecture classes, I'm telling you, I am like in the front, facing forward. I don't want to be distracted by other students' laptops and they're shopping on Amazon and all that stuff. And so what kind of student am I? I am front and center. I'm in the front row, in the middle of the room, if that's where the podium is. If it's on the left, I'm front left. I'm wherever that professor is. I didn't want to sit in the second, third, fourth, because, you know, then you just like you maybe feel like you can not feel like you can get away with not paying attention, but if the feeling of like, you know, exhaustion or something like starts to come in and you sort of mentally start drifting off, less opportunity. And also I'm raising my hand, I'm asking questions, I'm answering questions, I'm doing it all, man. I am that student. So I don't want to be distracted either by, because now everyone has, you know, laptop and iPad and stuff. So if you are sitting a little further back, and I've experienced this in some discussion sections where like we're in some classroom and I kind of had to sit a little further back because it was a smaller room, and there'd be like 2 or 3 rows of students with laptops open, and they're just like, and this is in the discussion section where we're all supposed to be paying attention and like, you know, contributing, and they're on Amazon, they're like shopping for like concert tickets and just like looking up things to do in New York over the weekend because they're new to the city or something, or just like full on text conversations with their friends and iMessage and all that sort of stuff. And that is distracting because you're just like, I mean, and yeah, I'm that guy where I'm like, you are taking away from my education now. I'm like totally that person, which is funny because it's like all, you know, grants and scholarships and stuff. So it's not like my hard earned, but it's like I got into this school and I'm treating it as if like these are expensive classes and I'm getting my money's worth. That's how I view it for myself and for what's around me. So like I get frustrated when I see people like screwing around and not taking it seriously if it affects me. If we're in a discussion set, if we're just sitting in the lecture class and you're doing whatever, I don't care. But if we're in a discussion section and no one's contributing because everyone's like buying stuff on Amazon, that really starts to drive me up a wall. I've never told any of the TAs or professors, obviously I'm not like gonna take it a step further, because again, this is like, you know, it's college, you're either doing the work or you're not, and the professors aren't there to like micromanage everybody's education. Like you're either going to participate or not, get bad grades, fail out, it's not on us. So I'm not really going to, not that I've even wanted to, I don't want to, but I just feel frustrated and annoyed when I see it. So I don't know, and same with anywhere I go, where I see someone like not taking advantage of something like great. You know, if you're at like comedy clubs, you're on the road and someone's like in a position where like, all right, you're getting to feature for your first time, and like, or MC, if I'm like working a club and I meet the weekend's MC and they just barely care, you know, it's like, dude, like a lot of people could be using this to work on, like to hone their chops, to learn how to host, to learn how to do some crowd work, to like be in front of a room of 200, 300, 400 people. And you're just like, you're better, you're over it, you're better than this. Like you're not. I watched you during the first show, that kind of stuff. So, cause it's hard to get to these places, and if you can do it, like I don't know, you should be taking advantage of it, which I know is something you can't tell young people, but I guess maybe partly I was surprised because these are like top high level, you know, like overachieving students, and then they get here and they're just sort of like, doesn't look like they're taking it seriously, or they're such geniuses that they can shop on Amazon and get 4.0 grade point average all the way across. maybe that's the case. Not for me. So that's not how I approach it. I approach it like I am struggling from day one, and that's how I came at stand up, because I actually was. Everyone is struggling on day one because no one knows how to do it. So and the other thing I do at the end of the semester, I walk up to the professor, or if I can't, if it was on Zoom or something, I'll send an email and I will thank them for an awesome semester, and I will highlight a few of my favorite things, and I will compliment them on how enjoyable the lectures were and how much I got out of it. And I hope that every class I have going forward has some of what they brought to their lecture style in it, because that stuff is like, I guess from like a performer's background, there's an element of that goes into it. Like you're not probably born a good lecturer, I don't think, because you got to figure that stuff out. And they obviously academically know what they're talking about, but that doesn't always translate into an interesting lecture. So every class I've had has been like, wow, these professors are just making this like watching a documentary every week. They're just so rich with information, and the way they're structured and laid out, and they have this energy, and there's a sense of humor and all this sort of stuff in there. And you could tell like this is a cut above what other lectures I've seen. Even like sometimes you see like YouTube lectures from other schools if you're interested in whatever subject, and some of them are super boring. The professors are just kind of standing there or whatever. And so I've been lucky so far to have really interesting and super engaging professors. So unlike a lot of the students who just final leaves and they're just filing out the door and they don't even say anything, I go up to the professor. I thank you so much. This was fascinating. This is my first year back as a student, and you don't understand how much I appreciate what I've gained from this. And it shows that you have so much passion and energy and enthusiasm for what you do. And like, a couple of them are looking at me like, oh yeah, thanks. Like, it just doesn't maybe happen that often. I hope it does, but I haven't seen it. I just see people zooming out the door. Maybe they send an email after. Maybe that's how they do it nowadays. But I'm going up to you, eye contact, let me thank you. Because I love when that happens to me, when I'm on the road or doing a show at a club and I get off stage and someone says something, or if they see you on the street or whatever and they go, hey, I like what you do. It's nice to hear that. It feels good. It validates what you do. Not that these people need validation, but I just think it's important to do that, because it's just another level of involvement for me. I want to be connected to like the studies on any level I can. And if that's like, talking to the professor and just saying thanks, in between, office hours and stuff, I don't know, it just makes it just puts a final stamp of like completeness on that class and my presence there, and just sort of completes the feeling of getting everything I could out of it. So I would bring apples to the class if that's something people did. That's the level of love I have for where I am and what I'm doing. So, and that carried into the second semester, which I'll talk about that in the next episode. The sort of what I got in that break, sort of like, okay, now I know I can do this. Now I know what I'm looking forward to. What am I going to take, and how am I going to dive in into that, and then we'll carry that'll hopefully, I think, carry us into like maybe the end of the second semester, and sort of starting to tell more people about it and thinking about my first thoughts of majors and all that sort of stuff. So we'll do that one next time. Bye.